Will, a Labor government, but in Britain, not here, saying mass immigration is a threat to a diverse nation, that it pulls countries apart, makes people strangers to each other. I mean, that is extraordinary.
It is extraordinary, Andrew, and the Dutton opposition did say that we should cut immigration, but did they really argue for it? Did they say that multiculturalism has failed in Australia like it has in the UK, which it clearly has? No, they didn't. Did they say that immigration from fundamentalist Islamic countries is a terrifying threat to this country as it is in the UK? No, Dutton did not. Did Dutton say, like Liberal Party, that we are at risk as a country of becoming divided into a series of ethnic enclaves which are dictated by the norms of the countries from the people that are in those enclaves? Many of those norms are antithetical to Western liberal democracy. No, he did not. This is yet another example where the Liberal Party put their toes into the water and then pulled back. This isn't a story of a Labor government in the UK that suddenly found some courage. It's a story of a centre-right opposition, being the Farage Reform Party, that actually pushed Keir Starmer in a sensible direction to say that the people will not tolerate this anymore. And this is the lesson for sensible Conservatives in Australia, to say that you need to have some backbone to actually make this argument. Now, after the Liberal leadership that we've seen today, I remain unconvinced that we will hear that. But this is a story not about Labor people finding courage. This is a story about how sensible Conservatives can push left-wing people to actually move in the right direction.
I would say that if the left don't deal with problems like this, and we've seen this exactly in Germany, with real problems like this, that, oh, it's too ugly, too hard, too sensitive, then people they don't like will take that same issue and deal with it in ways they may not like. So reality is really essential. But Caroline, I'm hearing Will, but then when I hear him say what the Liberals should have done, I'm saying yeah, but I know that Peter Dutton would have been kicked to pieces by the media had he done half of that. And isn't that part of the problem too? It's not just the Liberals, it's the space they're allowed by the media.
Well, there's a few parts to it. No, you know, just listening to Adam Bandt's comments there, and look, one of the, I don't think there's too many people crying over the fact that he's no longer in federal parliament, but no one has ever blamed the migrants. This is not a failure of migrants or people wanting to come to this country. My family migrated to this country and they wanted to come here, and so did yours. No one's blaming the migrants. That narrative is actually incredibly damaging. The issue is how do we manage our immigration policy so that you've got a structure that's in place that allows people with the right skill sets, or people with values that are similar to ours here in Australia, to come in a way that is measured and considered so that our infrastructure can cope. Because like you showed that picture of the skyline in Melbourne, and that's obviously a huge number of buildings that have gone up in a 20-year period, which is a really short period of time. But you're talking about a CBD. We also got to start looking at the outer suburbs and the infrastructure that goes into the outer suburbs, which is often where migrants go to live. So it's a multi-pronged issue here. There is not one answer, but the fact that even the media allows someone like Adam Bandt to get away with saying, oh, well, they're blaming the migrants, or that somehow that there is something that's acceptable to say and isn't pushed back on, I think that's really quite appalling, because no one ever said that.
Andrew, can I pick up here? Andrew, can I pick up here? Because I didn't hear John Howard whinging about Kerry O'Brien at the ABC when apparently Kerry O'Brien had views that were disagreeable to him. I didn't hear Tony Abbott whinging about the media much. I certainly don't hear about Donald Trump whinging about the media. I think this is a cop-out to say that centre-right or Conservative politicians don't have an avenue to be able to make their case. I don't think we have good enough centre-right politicians to be able to make a case against a liberal leftist media, which has always been a liberal leftist media since time immemorial. We need better, stronger, more courageous politicians. I don't think the argument is, well, the ABC isn't giving us a fair go. They've never given us a fair go, and we need to find better politicians to be able to make a better argument against them.
There's a lot in that, although I must point out that Donald Trump does complain a lot about the media.
Well, that's possibly
the
true.
hate media, the lying media, the this media, whatever. This morning, Caroline, Governor-General Sam Mostyn, she's a friend of the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. He's got long, close ties to Labor, lots of Labor friends. She swore in Anthony Albanese's new ministers and then took a selfie of herself with them all, like she was a bit of a fangirl, or they were all friends together at a moment she wanted to celebrate and capture in a photo album. Is this actually inappropriate for a Governor-General who's meant to be apolitical?
I thought that was extraordinary this morning, and interestingly, I did happen to have the TV on, and Laura Jays was with Andrew Clennell and Trudy, and they were all a little shocked, all a little aghast that it actually happened. That there is a really serious role. That is a really serious role. And I thought that level of informality, like for me personally, I think that there was inappropriate and probably should have been avoided. But the simple fact of the matter is we're actually starting to see within our institutions a lot of informality. And I think that there takes away in the long term from the gravitas of them. And I just thought that there was a bit unnecessary this morning.
Well, I'd go further, Caroline. I think you put it well. But, Will, the point of the Governor-General is, in a constitutional crisis, if she really, really had to, she would sack the Prime Minister for a breach of, the Constitution or whatever, if it really came to that. We've seen it before. Do you really see from that picture that she would do that to Anthony Albanese?
Yeah, I'd go further than informality. I'd say childish, and I'd say mediocre. And I would extend on what I was saying before, Andrew. I think in Australia we are accepting mediocrity. Albanese is a mediocrity. Everyone watching this show knows it. I think in their heart of hearts, everyone knew that Dutton was a mediocrity. I think we are starting to just accept mediocre in this country. And the Governor-General should be the one person with the gravitas as the King's representative in this country. I think this is a small but important reminder for this country that we need to start demanding better from our leaders, because at the moment we're not, and as a result of that, we're getting really, really substandard people who are leading us today.
Karen De Russo, Will Kingston, thank you very much to you both.